Hey guys, Stephen here from MasterChef Season 6. I'm here today at ECU Joondalup, brought to you by ECU Enactus and the ECU Student Guild. Since leaving the show, I've been working in a commercial kitchen as well as finishing off my studies. I find it hard to find time in the kitchen at home to actually cook meals for myself, so when I do, I really want to make the most of it. The first dish we'll be doing today is super tasty and also super simple. We're doing a chicken roulade with a chicken jus and parmesan gnocchi. I'll start off with the carrots and celery and a really roughly chopped onion, just with a bit of olive oil in the pan. Just let that heat up a bit, and we're going to add our aromatics as well. We're going to cook these until they're slightly caramelized, and then we'll add the chicken. Now I'm going to make the stuffing for a chicken. It's going to be a really easy onion, sage and thyme chicken. With these onions here, we're just going to sweat them off, and we're going to try and avoid colouring them. We just really want them to sweat them down, given the natural juices of what onions have. The aromatics are starting to come to colour, so we're going to add the chicken now. Once you can start smelling the aroma of the onions, pretty much take them off, and then we're going to add a few breadcrumbs to it. So I've got 4 sprigs of thyme here. I'm going to put about 4 leaves of sage. The sage here at ECU that I picked from the garden is actually really strong, which is really good, so you don't need too many. The onions are sweated down, they're really sweet, got a nice, really crunchy texture to them, so they've held shape perfect. I'm just going to put them to the side. Everything in my saute pan has started to caramelize quite well, so I'm going to start deglazing the pan with a bit of white wine. Next, we're going to move on to bashing out the chicken. For the chicken roulade, I'm just going to pull out some cling film. I'll do about 3 sheets of these. And then I'm going to lay my chicken breast skin side down. And you're going to cover that with 3 more layers of cling film. Now I've got my tenderizer here. I'm now going to get Simone up here. She's the project manager that helped me put all this together. So we're just going to keep bashing that out until it's a nice thin layer. Cool. I'm just going to come over here. I've got 1 litre stock here, and I'm going to do this in about 3 goes so that we can really get the reduction. What I've also set up now is I've set up my water bath. We're looking for around 65 degrees, and we're going to do that for 30 minutes. How's that looking? Good. All right, awesome. Thanks, Simone.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Now that the chicken's nice and flat, we're going to start adding our stuffing. Now we're going to add this in a nice thin stream, and then we're going to get our cling film. We're going to get 1 new sheet, a nice long sheet, and we're going to place this chicken into the new sheet of cling film. Now we're going to roll the chicken. So we want to make it nice and tight. You're going to roll it over. It's a bit like chicken sushi. And you're going to try and squeeze out the outsides. Rolling it down your bench, and then that will form a roulade. Now you can tie off the ends. And then with the extras, you can just cut them off. So that's the chicken roulade there. Nice and thin, nice and long. I'm going to pop that into the water bath. For the gnocchi, we're going to have 500 grams of potatoes, cold water, and put that on high heat. We're going to let them boil for roughly 25 to 30 minutes, let them soften down, and then we're going to put them through a ricer. The chicken jus has reduced down quite a bit, and I'm just going to strain it off now. You're going to have a lot of juices in the sieve, so you just got to make sure that you press it all out. And then we can return this back to the heat and let that cook down into a nice thick syrup. Potatoes are now nice and soft, so we're going to take them off and strain them. Sauce is starting to reduce down into a nice syrup. Just make sure you keep turning it so it doesn't actually catch on the bottom. This is a ricer, $20, one of the best investments. It saves you from mashing and straining it and sieving it. It does it all for you, all right? So potatoes are cooled down a little bit, evaporated off a bit of water. So you just want to put some potatoes into the ricer. And if you're looking for quick mashed potato, definitely the way to go. Voila, 75 grams of plain flour and 1 egg yolk. I'm now going to invite the president of the ECU Student Guild, Aslam, to help me finish off the rest of the gnocchi. Now you want to try and mix it, but you don't want to try and smush it too much. The more you press it, the more water will come out. You're trying to look for a nice consistency dough. The chicken's ready now. It's at 65 degrees, it's been there for half an hour. I'm just going to take this out. And with a lot of meat, you have to make sure you let it rest. So what we actually have here is rice flour. Just roll it around a bit, give it a bit of texture. With this gnocchi, you can see the potato granules, you can see a little bit of the egg still. That's okay, because we're going to roll it now. Really gentle rolling, just like that, and it should hold perfectly. So do little ones here, right. So here we have our gnocchi. Now that the water's boiling, we're going to pop the gnocchi in, so just let them go in, just all at once. Really simple brown butter sauce. Butter, sage. Now with the brown butter sauce, you want to make sure you keep moving it. You're going to start smelling caramelized butter. It's going to smell like heaven. And once that happens, we can start cooking off the gnocchi. So So the syrup, it's nice and syrupy. I don't want it too thick, but it's got all the flavor in there, so that's our sauce ready to go. Because we're cooking the gnocchi in the oven, the sauce is about ready. It's not fully brown yet, but it's got a nice caramelization. Do you want to pop them straight into here? Awesome. So we're going to essentially turn this gnocchi into a gnocchi bake. Simple mozzarella cheese, as much as you like, and grated parmesan. This goes straight into an oven, as high as heat as you can go. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
We're now going to finish off the chicken. So the chicken is nice and rolled. Just going to cut the top off. Be careful not to cut into the chicken. Now you can smell the sage, you can smell the onions, you can smell the thyme. Even as I'm not even getting to the bottom layer yet, that's how you can tell that the flavor's gone through the whole chicken. So we're going to have a pan on. Once again, some olive oil. And this is all just going to give a bit of colour to the chicken and a bit of caramelisation as well. I've also picked some kale from the ECU herb garden. So I've washed it. You've got to make sure you really wash it. I'm going to sprinkle that in as well. And then that's going to char up together. Dash of salt and some olive oil. The chicken's nice and caramelised just where I want it. So I'm going to let that rest just on there. See that nice caramelised golden colour, exactly what you're looking for. It's going to give it a nice sweet taste to the skin of the chicken. The kale's nice and charred, so I'm just going to pop that onto the plate. The chicken's rested for a few minutes. The juices have absorbed back into the chicken, so we're going to start slicing it. I like slicing it thinly on a nice angle. So just one to start off with. The gnocchi's ready. So it's got a beautiful crust on the bottom with cheese and goodness. So you just put the chicken on the side, pan it out like that, and we're going to finish it off with this beautiful salty, thick syrup. So if you want to go a little bit fancy and have a few nasturtiums in your garden, feel free to. Even though you're eating at home, you're going to feel like you're eating at a restaurant. There you have it, guys. Parmesan gnocchi with a chicken roulade and charred kale.